Lots of people love waifus, and lots of people love girls who can kick ass in anime. I can attest to that, and I think that a lot of the guys can as well. However, instead of taking a look at the characters, I decided to do things a bit differently this time, opting to go for fights. So for today, you can feast your eyes on some of the best bouts in anime that feature female-on-female action. Yeah! But before we get started, I'd like to encourage you all to hit that like and subscribe button, share the video, and invite your friends to join the ViniiTube community as a subscriber or a channel member. I don't want to keep you waiting any longer, so let's get started with today. Next up is Yoruichi versus Soi Fon from Bleach. The master meets the student in this emotionally charged bout. While much of the attention was in Ichigo's epic last battle against Byakuya, happening concurrently is this slightly overshadowed fight. Both masters of speed and hand-to-hand combat, Yoruichi and Soi Fon take to the trees as they settle their differences once and for all. The fight ends up being as you'd expect from two speedsters. Like blurs, they duel and raise eyebrows with some of the amazing stuff they pull out. All the while, we get the mandatory Soi Fon backstory and character development, culminating in her unleashing her new technique, only for Yoruichi to reveal that she had that move mastered already. The two reconcile after the battle, and it's a very fitting and dramatic end given the high emotional stakes the fight had. We have a three-way dance for the next fight, Erza versus Kagura versus Minerva. Hey, I didn't say anything about strictly being one-on-one fights now, did I? Anyway, Fairy Tail might have been a series known for more of its fan service and power of friendship, but when it's in its A-game, Fairy Tail fights can be the definition of awesome. Example, the fight that for me is the most hyped and one of the biggest highlights of the tournament arc. Taking place in the Battle Royale-styled event, Erza runs into Kagura before Minerva intervenes, quickly turning this into a fight where it's everyone for herself. It's also the explosion of combustible elements, given all the other things involved, such as Milana being beaten up and Kagura's hatred towards Jalal. It's probably the best you can see out of the three women in terms of fights in the series, and it's amazing to see how well their dynamic works. The less popular Type Moon series, 2009 anime Canaan gave us one pretty good female battle. Canaan's battle against Alphard feels like something you'd see in an action flick. Instead of the more supernatural shtick we've come to expect out of Type Moon series, this fight gives us more of a realistic take on two enemies out to kill each other. You have the gunfight, the grappling, and a lot of fast-paced female-on-female action. It's short and sweet, and while we don't get any of those big moments that will be talked about for years to come, for a short, down and dirty fight, this one definitely gets the job done. And it's a pretty nice exhibit of PA Works' mettle in handling fight scenes, something that we don't typically expect from the studio's usual shows. Speaking of girls who are ready to get down and dirty, we have Revy versus Roberta next. Black Lagoon's really known for its gritty, hard-nosed tone, and we have no further representative of that than the protagonist, Revy. Crude and ill-mannered, Revy really is the heart and soul of her group. In this scene, she takes on Roberta in a quick scuffle that gets as ugly as they can get. Don't let Roberta's appearance fool you though, she's probably one of the most fearsome combatants in the series, and in this scene, you can see exactly why. In terms of physical abilities, it seems that she has them boosted to supernatural levels, and she does show her proficiency in combat in this. Admit it, when you first saw Black Lagoon, you didn't expect the maid to be so deranged and relentless in fighting now, did you? Now, while I won't say that the battle's representative of what Black Lagoon's all about, the atmosphere is there, and you can really see that dark, no-holds-barred appeal that made the show so attractive to fans. Up next is something from Akame Got Killed, Akame versus Esdeath. We all knew that it would come down to this at some point. Our protagonist, Akame, finally gets her hands on Esdeath in the final fight of the Akame Ga Kill anime. It's the duel between the two strongest fighters of their respective forces, and we have Akame trying to finally put an end to Esdeath's warmongering ways. I do think that for all the hype surrounding this final battle, Esdeath gets defeated rather easily. I won't say that I was completely disappointed, but I would have wanted a more intense fight. Besides, the actual visual side of the thing's delivered, and I think that this is one of those nifty battles in the show in terms of both stakes and animation. Like a lot of things from this particular anime, you can get a different experience reading this fight in the manga. So if you did enjoy watching Akame vs Esdeath, then you should try reading it too. Trigger has carved out a strong legacy in the world of anime, and much of it comes from its amazing shows, one of them being Kill la Kill. Back in 2013, Kill la Kill was a show with a pretty wild and novel premise. It takes the fan service and fighting up to 11 and recaptures the magic of Trigger's old blockbusters. Being a show from Trigger, you can expect the fights to be very up to par with their old standards, and for me, one of the favourite moments came halfway through the series in the Ryuko vs Satsuki fight. Eternal rivals finally meet head-to-head in this fight where Ryuko bets her all. It's a very intense battle where both fighters get to show off their abilities, and our hero pulls off the plucky win thanks to Senkutsu. I always had a bias for close fights with a lot of shouts of resolve and an insert song blaring in the background, so this fight satisfies me in a production sense. That's not to mention how this fight so effectively closes the first part of the show and the amazing twists in its aftermath. Truly a fight to remember, and something that's aged rather well. I still get goosebumps watching this now. Third place we have Asuna vs Yuuki. For me, one of the Sword Art Online's best arcs in the series as a whole is the Mother's Rosario arc, and I know that sentiment is shared by a sizable portion of the fanbase, and for good reason too. It's the arc that tries to strongly incorporate human drama and the core theme of real life intersecting with the virtual, while also placing Asuna at the forefront. Also, it did kick off with a banger of a fight in Asuna vs Yuuki. I know this is a fight that excited a lot of people, especially those who were disappointed about Asuna's role post-Aincrad. After playing support and second fiddle to Kirito, we finally get to see again the Asuna that rose through the ranks as one of the best players in the first arc. This fight is pretty short, but it does show us a cool exchange between the two fighters. Asuna also gets to let Yuuki bust out her ultimate skill, letting her pass the latter's test. Our runner-up today is Homura vs Mami in Madoka Rebellion. Do you know that it's officially the 10-year anniversary of Madoka Magica? Yep, you heard that right, and while everyone's keeping their fingers crossed for a possible big announcement late April, let's take a look back at where the mainline series left us with. In one of the more polarizing anime movies ever, Madoka Magica Rebellion, the Homura and Mami fight described in one word would probably be sakuga. It's a term used to describe a moment when the animation and art improved drastically, often done in key moments. Just look at how those bullets blitz in this frantic gunfight that spills all over the place. It's a fight that pits Mami's sheer firepower against Homura's wits, and while we know that in a straight-up gunfight Homura probably loses, she more than makes it up with a bag of tricks. Pretty cool plot for the movie, even more awesome animation. My only complaint about the franchise is that the mainline series ended on this movie's cliffhanger, but who knows, an announcement of something big could be coming this month. With Homura and Mami being such a visual spectacle, what else could top it? Well, another movie, of course, this time from Heaven's Feel 3. If we're talking purely from a visual perspective, the only thing that can beat the Sakuga Fest that's Homura vs Mami is something from Ufotable's smash hit movie trilogy. Saber, Alter, and Ryder do battle in the final Heaven's Feel movie's climax. With them finally battling at full power with no major interruptions, it goes about as well as you could expect it, with a practical double KO. I like this fight because while the previous movie is a showcase of Saber Alter's power through some feats and big wins, the third Heaven's Feel movie showed us a glimpse of full power Ryder. For most of the Fate series at this point, Ryder seems to be a very weak servant, often getting offed really early on, but Heaven's Feel really showed us her true strength. It's a showcase of Ufotable flexing their animation through and through, and it makes for an amazing climax to the film as far as the battle side of things are concerned. Which amongst these girl versus girl fights is your favourite? Tell me in the comments section below. I'm always on the lookout for more examples of girl power, so could we see a volume 2 of this video coming soon? I'll let you decide. If this video gets 10,000 likes, we could have a round 2. So start hitting that like button and sharing the video with your friends now. Before I go, I'd also like to remind you that the channel has a Patreon. If you're interested in seeing more content and would like to financially help me create even better videos in the future, feel free to give the link a try. That's going to do it for now, however. Wishing you a great day, and I'll see you next time.